بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome to lesson 15 of Straight Path Academy Arabic Volume 1, Reading Arabic Letters. In this lesson, we learn two new letters. Firstly, this is the letter Dal. And the letter Dal sounds like the English D. So for example, that D sound in the word Medina is the letter Dal. Now we want to make sure that we differentiate the Dal from another Arabic letter that we learned, which is the letter Dad. We learned that the letter Dad, it also sounds like the English D, except it's a heavy version. Therefore, when we pronounce the letter Dad with a fatha, we're going to pronounce it more like Da, similar to the English word dawn, because the Dad is heavy, and that's why we put a dot underneath the D in the transliteration. Whereas the letter Dal is not heavy. So for example, if there's a fatha above the letter Dal, it's going to be pronounced more like da, like the English word dad. And we're not going to put a dot underneath the D for the transliteration, because the dal is not heavy. So this is how the letter dal looks alone. And one very important characteristic of the letter dal is that it's part of a new category of letters that we're going to learn today, which are letters that do not connect to letters coming after it. All of the letters that we learned so far have a line connecting to the letter after it, if it's in the beginning or middle of a connection. However, some Arabic letters are never written with a line connecting to a letter after it. And the letter Dal is the first of those letters that we're going to learn. So this is how the letter Dal looks alone. This is how the letter Dal looks when it's in the beginning. And as you can see, it's identical to how it is when it's written alone. And that's because since it's in the beginning, there's no letter connecting to it, and the Dal will never connect to a letter after it. So this is how it's written in the beginning, and then this is how it's written in the middle or end of a connection. If the Dal comes after a letter that does connect to the next letter, then there will simply be a little line connecting it. But again, it will not connect to anything coming after it. So any letter coming after Dal, if it's part of the same word, then the letter will be written close to it, but it won't connect. And next we have the letter Thal. And the letter Thal, it sounds like a soft version of DH, similar to the first two letters of that. For example, the Arabic word dhikr begins with the letter Thal. And just like it was important to differentiate the letter Dal from the letter Dad, it's important to differentiate the letter Thal from the letter Tha. The letter Tha is a heavy version of DH. So for example, if there is a fatha above this letter, we would pronounce it more like Tha, because it's heavy, and that's why we write it with a capital DH for the transliteration. Whereas the letter Thal, if it had a fatha, it would be pronounced more like Tha, because it's soft and therefore the transliteration has a lowercase dh. So this is how the letter Thal looks alone. And as we can see, it looks exactly like the letter Dal, except there is one dot above for the Thal. And it will also never physically connect with a line to a letter coming after it. So this is how it looks when it's written alone. This is how it looks in the beginning. And this is how it looks in the middle or end of a connection. So now that we've learned some new letters, it's time to practice with the exercise. So let's try number 10 together. Step 1 is we identify the letter. So we just learned that this shape here that does not connect to a letter after it and has one dot above is the letter Thal. So we're going to write a lowercase dh for the letter Thal, differentiating it from the heavy Tha. Next, above the letter Thal, we see a fatha, so we write an A for the fatha. So together, the letter Thal with a fatha would be pronounced Tha. Tha. Next, in between a connection, we see this shape with one dot beneath. This is, of course, the letter Ba. So we write a B for the letter Ba. And underneath the letter Ba, we see a Kesra, so we write an I for the Kesra. So together, this Ba and Kesra would be pronounced B. B. And finally, ending a connection, we see this shape here with no dot above, meaning this is the letter Dal. So we're going to write a D for the letter Dal. And because the Dal is not heavy, we are not going to write a dot beneath it, as we would with the letter Dad, which is heavy. Above the Dal, we see a Dhamma, so we write a U for the Dhamma. So together, this Dal and Dhamma would be pronounced Du. Du. So finally, if we read these three letters in harakat out loud together, it would be Tha, Bi, Du. Tha, Bi, Du. So let's try one more together. Let's do number 22. So first we identify the letter. This shape here that does not connect to the letter after it and has a dot above is the letter Thal. So we write a lowercase d and h for the dhal. Above the dhal is a dhamma, so we write a u for the dhamma. Together, the dhal and dhamma would be pronounced dhu, dhu. Next, this whole shape beginning a connection is the letter ha, which is a soft H sound, so we're going to write a lowercase h for the letter ha. And above the ha is a sukoon, so there is no vowel sound coming after it. So the ha with a sukoon would just be pronounced h. Next, we find this shape here, which does not connect to the letter after it, and also does not have a dot above it. So this is the letter dal. So we're going to write a lowercase d for the letter dal. Above the dal is a fatha, so we're going to write an a for the fatha. So together this dal and fatha would be pronounced da, da. And then finally here at the end, this straight line coming down and hooking to the left with no lightning bolt symbol in the middle is the letter lam. So we're going to write an L for the letter lam. And above the lam, we see tanween dhamma. So we write a U for the dhamma and N for tanween. So this lam with tanween dhamma would be pronounced lun, lun. So now if we pronounce all of these letters in harakat together, it would be lu, da, lun. Lu, da, lun. Thank you for watching. Please make sure that you complete the exercises. And inshallah, there's only 5 lessons left before you finish learning all of the Arabic letters. May Allah make it easy and grant you success. Jazakumullahu khairan. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.